The big 2-0 with my man Jason. How's it going, buddy?
Doing awesome, man. How are you?
Living the dream, man. One day at a time. One day at a time.
We
So
got, we got all kinds of stuff for trying to interfere with episode 20. We got you on the road. I got like a freaking tornado outside my house today. It's like pouring and windy as hell. It's like the stars are not aligning to make this happen today, but we're here. We did
which
it.
is the
We made it.
perfect transition into the subject, which is commitment, right?
That's what I'm here for. That's why you bring me. Put
That
asses in the
is.
seats.
Yeah, man. Like you said, everything's in the way of this one. Out of town, had a death in the family. That's never expected, even though it's expected sometimes. And with older age, it happens, right? But um, and it throws curveballs, and you got to travel, and you got to do things, and there's storms, and that's this week in this episode is the summary of commitment, man. Like everything will fucking get in the way. I've always I used to say it as money. I used to say it like money doesn't care that you went to the bathroom when the call comes in, that you had to go get married or take a vacation whenever the business comes, or that you don't feel good today. Like money and money, I used to say it as money, and that was probably the wrong term, but I think money is an accountability stick. Sure, there's a lot of other ways you can look at money, but the one thing I think the positive about money is it gives you a measuring stick, are you moving the needle, and you know I've always viewed it that way. I think, but just because I just saw what was out there, because I saw, I went and got married and lost 2 sales, my first year in the business. I'm like, holy shit, no one gives a shit that I'm getting married, but me, not, you know what I'm saying, come
Yeah,
on,
no, for
yeah,
sure. Like I said, when we kind of talked about having the little show or whatever, one of our mile markers was, kind of see, the 1% of podcasts only make it to episode 20, right? And we're both like, really? That's it? And it's crazy. All the stuff that happens when you're trying to commit to like a week long thing, what tries to get into the way of that? You know what I mean? Like, all kinds of obstacles that you have to overcome. Like I said, we had a couple shows that we taped because we were on retreat for some weddings and for some live events that were scheduled. You know what I mean? So you just have to adapt and overcome. You can't just say, oh well, no, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Or I'll do it tomorrow, right? If you're gonna plan on something and stick to something, do it, right?
hey, and I'm taking that more seriously now than I ever have. I, I think, when I got into real estate, it was just, head down, just, do what's in front of me, and then once you get a moment to breathe, all the other stuff comes in, and I look, and I think I start looking for those magic pills like a lot of people do. And I say it all the time, but I just see it everywhere, man, every day.
Yep.
All right, I'm trying to be July to October for me this past year. There was something that happened where I go, you know what? You tried all the magic pills, motherfucker, and none of them really do anything. Yeah, they might give you a subtle difference or a cool way to do shit, but at the end of the day, the magic pill is that discipline, that consistency. We all hear it, and we hear it, and consistency is key, and all, we hear it.
Yeah.
But I decided to just take that very, very, very literal all the time, always. And I go, no excuses, just period, no excuses. And, to share that journey and make it relevant this long, this podcast, like I have made such big changes in my life, whether it's weight or mental state. I mean, my wife sees it, just the kids, like just so many changes from that mindset of like submitting to the commitments you make, and having people around you like yourself, like my wife, like other good people around me, they keep me, like I know I said, I called you a few weeks ago and was trying to do something. And you're like, dude, you said you were going to do this for this year. Do the thing. You're the only one that told me that. I called like 5 or 6 people. You're the only one that told me that. And that's you want to make it so you can, when you're committed to something, make it so you battle downhill. Food
Yeah.
is good. And one of the best tips that Alec Cheplak gave me from Cheplak Wellness was have your staple foods around, or you're going to fall off the wagon. Have 3 to 5 days worth of staple foods around that, and I'll tell you, like granola, I do like the made good granola bars. Like they help me not eat the sweets. I mean, they're not the best thing in the world, but they're definitely a lot better than a cookie,
Yeah.
that's a way to battle downhill. Join the gym that's closest to you so you don't think about how terrible the drive is. Buddy up. So it's you're hanging out with your friends and going to, you battle downhill. Don't battle uphill. And because motivation, you can battle uphill for that first week, because you're motivated.
Yeah.
When you're committed on week 6, 7, 8, 9, that motivation ain't shit. It's gone. It's a very
I agree with everything you're saying except for the gym thing.
okay.
I always had
This is good.
people that want to go, hey, let's go together and all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, oh man, and then you say, okay, yeah, let's do it. And then it's like, well, I can't, could you go like a half hour later, or an hour later? It's like, I'm like, I don't know. For me, I just couldn't deal. I'm like, look at man, you go when you could go. I'm going to go when I have time to go, and that's it. I
Well,
couldn't do the buddy system with that. It just never seemed to work out right.
this is good because people can probably relate that. Listen, so for me, I agree, but like when I just go. Like, so last week, I texted a buddy. He was like, "Hey, you want to gym tonight?" We go regularly. He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, I'll do it after my showing." Well, texted him about when the showing was done, and he says, I can't. I got this thing. It comes up. Can we go a little bit later? I'm like, "Nope, I'm on my way back from the showing." And so I said I'm going to do it. Like, so if it becomes just a non-negotiable, a standard that, and they've watched me, and there's no rudeness. It's not like, fuck you, dude, what the hell? It's just like, they've watched me do that. Now 40 to 50% of the time they do come, but there are a lot of times where I just, you know what I mean? So I think as long as you have that commitment, I think though having them sometimes, I've had nights where we have like a group of 2 or 3 of us, where I'm just like, just like, I didn't even want to go, but these guys, I'm driving these guys tonight, or they're picking me up, and it just helps. It helps.
It does helps get your ass moving. Because the hardest part, like, I'm right now, I'm literally in the same boat. It's raining out. I don't feel like going out. I don't feel like doing anything, and I just have to go grab my shoes. And as soon as we're done here, that's the intent is to go. And I, as part of the show, I definitely will commit to it and go. But everything in the outside world tells you like, just take the day off or whatever. What do you say to people that are kind of like looking for that internal motivation or some way to get just started? Just taking small maybe commitments at first, or how would you say would be the best approach to that?
Yeah, it's tough because well, first to hit on your point of there's always somebody that will agree with you somewhere about anything.
Yeah.
Like, I deserve today because it's rainy. Yeah, somebody will
I
say
did it
yes.
yesterday. I don't have to do it today.
And just as a general tip, just find the people that say no. I can't stress it enough. I value those people, even though I don't want to hear it sometimes. It sucks. So first step to that, man, is have like, I'm gonna answer the question, I promise. I always had about 5 people kind of on speed dial, like not literally, not like in a fucking folder or something, but I always mentally have like 5 people on speed dial. They vary, they change. There's no rhyme or reason. They're just the 5 people I call when I'm making decisions. And hey, so this does apply actually. So, it's probably put your support group around you. It's good to hear. And there's been times where 4 of those 5 will tell me to do, if there's A and B, there's 4 of 5 will tell me to do A, and A is the easy fucking road, and 1 tells me to do B, which Jason actually a lot of times is you. And I'm like, that motherfucker's right. So it doesn't mean that you need to take the general majority of consensus. It's not the democratic process with yourself. It's just putting enough varying perspectives around you to get people to call you out on your bullshit. That's always been, dude. I've done that since me and Brittany got together when we were 15, and I would call 5 people. What do you think of this girl? Do you think it, like I'd call 5 of them? Like seriously, every decision. Like it's how it was, man. It's been a huge part of my process. So
should be on the board of directors somewhere.
That's it. It's like you have your board of directors, 100%. You should have your board of directors. And so leading into, how do you do this? So establish your board of directors. Although that wasn't how I wanted to answer it, but it's definitely been crucial in my life. And to me, man, it's just like everything else that most people would say is fairy dust. It's know what you want on the other side of that commitment. I know that I've always wanted to be in shape and fit. And just for me, like I've always wanted that, and I've never committed to it. I've always dabbled. And July to October range, I said, you know what? That's the commitment, period. Like, and then you work on the micro. Okay, what is it? Step 1. All right, I got to start working the calories, and then I got to find a rhythm of working out. And, but for me, it's like, know the end result, like, and just say, I'm getting that no matter what gets in the way. I will start off slow. I didn't know how to track the macros as well as I do now. I didn't know how to work all the machines and equipment at the gym as I do now. You will get better in time. So but just visualize the end result and go, I want that, period. Nothing's getting in the way.
Yep. Well, 2 things I think are important with where you're going with that. One, it's always good to have some type of accountability for whatever goal you have, right? I forget what I'm going to butcher this again, so Brian, don't make fun of me. But when you're setting goals, if you write them down, you'll be more successful than if you don't, right? If you tell somebody about them, you'll be more successful on achieving your goal. If you don't, if you have an accountability partner, you'll be even more successful than if you don't. So what I do is a weekly accountability thing where we set our goals, personal, business, whatever, for the week, and then we have a call that following Monday. So it's like, okay, did you do what you said you're going to do? Mine's like work out 4 times, read 3 days a week, and then some business related milestones that I want to hit. It's like, but you can kind of have like a well balanced thing with that. And I know on Sunday, because I forgot that I put something on my thing, and on Easter Sunday at like 8:00, I'm sitting there like typing messages to possible agents that are coming over and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to do that. But I knew I was going to have that call that next day, and that accountability forced my hand to get it done. We have a little bit of a financial penalty if you don't do what you say you're going to do, so it kind of moves the needle too. But it's like, I'd rather not have him bust me for not doing it as opposed to the money. I could care less about that. But it's like, so I think accountability is super key. Having somebody, that you can lean on and, that can help you achieve your goals.
Right. So I'm always the talker, looking at you, man, like when you look at commitments you've made, where were you most likely to fail? Like, what were the conditions? What was the weather, and
Yeah.
where were you most likely when you've succeeded? What was the conditions that were different than where you failed,
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Right. So I think the commitment's got to be yours. Like, you can't just do, say I'm going to do something, then you really don't want it. Right. They say like, like for addicts and stuff like that, they're not going to quit until they kind of hit rock bottom, right? It's like, if you're not ready yet for that commitment, then you're not going to be all in. I think the biggest, the times that I kind of whiffed, like, okay, I'm going to start working out, and I really wasn't like, I'm not going to do it or whatever, I'm like, that's, the commitment wasn't there. And then when I had that like change, like, okay, I'm doing it every week, I'm getting after it, like the mindset shift, and the, being all in with it, I think was good, because if you don't really care about your goals and stuff like that, and something like an arbitrary goal where you can't see kind of small landmarks to hit, on the way, you're going to kind of lose that to get to the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that um, one other perspective for me recently that's been helpful was like seeing, we know we're such an instant gratification society. We know we see that everywhere. We see everybody wants the now stuff, and like look, if you're used to chocolate every day, and you have chocolate 5 days a week. And if you go from 7 days a week of having chocolate to five, you're pissed. But if you have chocolate 2 days a week and you have it five, you're like, oh, this is cool. I had more chocolate. Just to give an example, right?
Yeah.
So if we have instant gratification around just delivered, because like Amazon, Uber Eats, or we'll just name it, right? We have instant gratification all around us. And then obviously the people are very into that right now. So our threshold, like it's easier to just be impulsive and want that gratification now.
Mm.
So for me though, like when I kind of submitted to this no excuse mentality mentally, just like it was just like a moment. I don't even know. There's nothing specific. It was just like, I mean, there was definitely a lot of factors that I could attribute to it, but it was just like, Chad, just suck it up. Like just do the stuff. Just do the stuff, And when that happened, I started every time I see non-instant gratification, like if we make a video and there's like few views, like let's be fucking real. If you've ever made a video and you don't count the views, like don't give me that, well, I don't care, like get the fuck out of here. We all care. We all like, what's one of the highest human needs is love and acceptance. Like we want that. Let's get fucking real, but like when I make them with low views now, I'm like, good. Everyone else would fucking quit. Everyone else would quit whenever I hit the battle of I got to get up in the mornings to make this shit work. To stay, everybody else would quit. Everybody else wants that instant gratification. There's a new workout diet or plan or thing, or fucking, they'll do it, and I'm not. I'm just gonna stay to what I've been doing. Period. Like so. Like when I just like inversed it and viewed negative as, but this is so simple. It all is, you know. But for me, when I started going, I want that now, but I'm avoiding that because avoiding it is the right path. Like if you know what I mean, view the negative as the positive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. There's definitely things in everybody's life where it's like, I should do way less of that, whether it's like drinking or eating poorly or not, taking care of yourself physically or whatever. Everybody's like, I could do better in, probably all those categories, right? You know, I think it's hard for people to take that switch of, you know, enjoying not doing it, as the win instead of doing it,
No, this dude. So this is perfect because now this is really really relevant. I had a conversation with somebody who had gotten out of the business a little bit, like just tailored it back. And one of the biggest reasons they got out of the business was scaled it back. I'm sorry, they didn't fully get out, but anyway, it was because the people around them said, like they were busy. They're really busy, answering phones a lot and doing stuff, doing the work. The novel concept. They were having success from that work. Anyway, they were like, I don't like who you are, or you're not like, you're not you. You're not in touch with you, or whatever the fuck. Like what? So what the fuck is you? Just somebody that just sits around and bullshits and accomplishes nothing in the one fucking life that we're lucky enough to get. We just
Yeah.
want to, just hang around. Like, listen, I love to chat. We're fucking doing it plenty here, but like, you know, you think I don't get that? You think I never got that? You know what I mean? I've gotten that from so many people. But what that is they're mad that you're trying to be something better than you are. So they're projecting that on you. It's what I mean, everybody's journey is different. I don't know what all their wants and needs. I'm not saying this is a universal, but I know for me personally, I've been in that person's exact same shoes. And for me, I didn't go, wow, yeah, this is hard, and I'm not me. So I'm gonna do less to appease you and not really accomplish some big things and move human beings in this life, make more of an impact with that one life because you say I'm not in touch with my time and talking and like I'm not focused. Like it's just a me thing, right? Because that's my journey and that might not be everybody's journey. So I don't know. It's you, but for me, it's like no, I want to do big things with big people and make big people. Like that's what I want to do.
Well, yeah, now it's kind of like the hero's journey, right? So you're gonna lose people along the way. Everybody wants to root for you on your way up.
Mhm.
And then when you hit that top, like you said, it's, then people try to beat you down like, oh, you think you're so much better than me or this and that. It's like, no, man, I'm just trying to get after it. It's not a me versus anybody else thing. It's a me versus me thing, right? It's, but like I said, I think a lot of people project like they wish they could, be taking some of the steps or might have some of the freedoms or whatever that you have, but like I said, they don't see the sacrifices that you have to make to make that happen, right?
Yeah, and they're all faced with them every day. We all have the same hours. I've told myself that illusion, well, I can't do it because I have kids, which is like somebody put that into perspective for me, where it's like you saying you can't do this because you have kids, right? First of all, there's somebody out there that's more kids than you that's done more than you, so you're full of shit, number one. But let's take that aside for a second and let's go. Okay, so you're going to tell your kids, well, I didn't accomplish what I wanted to because of you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the kid. Think about the kid's perspective, right?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. The kids are gonna be like, well, thanks, mom. I didn't want to ruin all your dreams, right? But that's so good because I have a new agent on the team, Tammy. I'll give her a shout out. She has two small children under 3, right? So a 3 and a 1, and she is out there just grinding to make it happen, like handing out like 2,000 business cards, doing all kinds of stuff, making
wow.
calls, sending out all these offers. She got like 3 offers accepted within her first like 4 to 6 weeks of being an agent. She's like just on fire. But it's like, how about the people that would be like, oh, I have 3 kids, I can't do that, or I can't be a real estate agent because I have 3 kids. It's like, you're either going to find an excuse or you're going to find a reason why, right? Your kid should be your reason why, not the excuse of why not.
And having people like you around me made me experience that a week or two ago, where I said, if you know me, I'm not a morning person. And you let me talk and do my shit, and then you told me after, I don't like when people say I'm not, and I'm like, huh, because you live in the story you tell yourself, and uh, that was just bullshit. Like I was up today at, you know, 5:45, and went to the gym and did the stuff, so like, and I enjoyed it. I had a really great morning. So it's just, I like, we're not none of, like, I get intense in some of this stuff and passionate about it, but I'm just trying to pass on the lessons that I've learned, because I wish somebody would have passed them on to me sooner.
Yeah.
Um, and but ultimately, like, I'm living this journey, and that's what I hope this thing can do. I hope this thing can show, because you and I talk all the time. Like, that's the design here. That's the point of the show, is let's talk. Our accountability, and Jason, you hit me with it beforehand. We do need to have some more interviews on here. We need to have some other people as well. But I think it's going to be good to watch your and my growth over the years through this vessel right here.
Yeah, no, for sure. Super pumped about the show. Glad we made it to the 1% rule. We'll be, I forget what they were calling people, like the 99% or some shit. But hey, we made it. I look forward to 20 more, buddy. And like I said, we'll be having some special guests to help talk about their journeys, talk about their struggles, right? That's kind of what the point of the thing is. Nobody's perfect here.
Yeah.
A lot of times we say this stuff, it's like, stuff that we post is a reminder to ourselves. Might help
My fa-
somebody else.
my favorite lessons in my journey have been the ones that have busted it caught me off guard, that got me, thinking, dang, I never thought of it that way. So, if I can do that for one person in these 20 episodes, if I can make you just go, wow, I never thought of it that way, and maybe I am wrong, that's happened to me about a million times per week. That's the definition of my marriage. That's the definition of my good friendships. They bust me.
Yeah.
So if we can do that in any small way for anybody, we've won. Period.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people have, you know, it's tough to change your beliefs, especially the ones that you really believe, right? So it's like, so like I said, we're here to help try to be a spark of light for people, motivation. We both came from, if you saw our shows, not much, try to work our way up, and we're just putting our nose down and grinding. No shiny objects moving forward. We're getting after it.
and we're not done, and we never will be. The only way that this ends is when I stop breathing. You do not arrive at the destination ever if you're committed to just being the best version of yourself, period. And only you know your capability. If you gave 100%, or if you gave 90 or 80 or 60 or 50 or 10 or -10,
Yeah.
think about what impact you're leaving on this gift of life we all are given. It's a gift. The odds of us being here are pretty slim. So
Yeah. Here for a good time, not a long time. Make it worth it, right?
amen, man. Well, let's get back to it, man. And number 21 is next, and that's my number. That was my hockey number. That's my thing. So we'll see you on episode.
Special.
What's that?
Yeah, special show then.
That's
All
for
right.
me, 100%.
We'll bring it next week. Peace.